I offer my humble pranams at the divine lotus feet of Bhagwan Sri Sathya Sai Baba. Respected elders, brothers and sisters, Om Shri Sai Ram. My name is Ashwin Pisharadi. On behalf of our center, I welcome each one of you to the Heart to Heart Self-Reflection series. Happy birthday to you, Swami, and happy birthday to everyone present here. It is a beautiful occasion today for us to come together on Bhagwan's 99th birthday to kick off the Heart to Heart series in the spirit of love, introspection, and self-awareness. This series is dedicated to the profound wisdom and teachings of Bhagwan Sri Sathya Sai Baba, who has selflessly illuminated the path of truth, love, and service to all of us. As we embark on this journey of reflection, let us remember the essence of Swami's message, that true transformation begins within. He often reminded us that the heart is the seat of divine consciousness and the source of all love and compassion. It is through self-reflection that we can connect to that divinity, cleanse our hearts, and realize our highest potential. Swami says, man is not the body, not the mind, not the intellect, but the divine self within, which is the same in all beings. With this truth as our guiding light, let us take a moment to soothe our minds and open our hearts so we may embark on a journey of self-discovery and spiritual growth. During this series, we will delve into key aspects of self-reflection, looking within, identify our true nature, and to understand how we can cultivate love, peace, and service in our daily lives. Swami emphasized that self-reflection is not just about understanding our inner world, but about aligning our thoughts, words, and actions with the highest ideals of truth, goodness, and love. Today we have two distinguished speakers from our own center to share their experiences with us. Our first speaker is our most talented and dedicated young adult, Brother Sai Sudesh. And our second speaker is Sister Kala Balasubramaniam, who is ever vibrant and ever cheerful, we all know. So just to give you a very short glimpse, rest, I think they will talk. Sai Sudesh's commitment to Sathya Sai Baba's mission and teachings, combined with his reflective nature and sincere desire to serve, which we all know, have made him a shining example for many of the young adults and for most of us. And Sister Kala's unwavering dedication and to the teachings of Bhagwan Sri Sathya Sai Baba and her deep personal practice have made her a beloved figure among all of us. Her infectious enthusiasm and deep compassion are a living testament to the transformative power of love and reflection. Both of them need absolute no further introduction, as their lives and actions speaks volumes about their devotion and positive impact they have on all of us. Today they will share their personal experiences and reflections of how, through their deep practice, they have gained valuable insights into the transformative power of self-reflection. Their unwavering faith and love, compassion, and teachings of Swami inspire and guide us all on this sacred journey and self-discovery. Please join me in welcoming Brother Sai Sudesh, followed by Sister Kala Balasubramaniam.
I offer my humble pranams at the lotus feet of our dearest Mother Sai, respected elders, aunties, uncles, brothers, and sisters, Om Shri Sai Ram. Good afternoon and happy birthday to all of you on this most auspicious day. Thank you, Brother Ashwin and the devotion team, for this opportunity to speak to all of you today. So often when hearing heart-to-hearts, especially on days like this, many devotees typically share one or two key experiences they have with Swami. However, when reflecting on my own life and my own journey with Sai, no specific instance or circumstance comes to mind. Rather, how Swami affects my day-to-day life and the lives of those around me comes to mind. Many of you know me simply as Sudesh, but my full name is actually Sai Sudesh. And the story behind how my name came to be, I think, is a great way to start today's heart-to-heart. From the very start of my life, I've had the immense privilege of being immersed in Swami's divine fold. Days before I was born, my mother was sitting in Bhajans in Scott Religious Center at York University, with my older sister on her lap and my dad standing outside as a sevadal. At the time, my parents were apprehensive about having a second child, given the complications my mother faced with my sister's pregnancy. Yet, in Swami's infinite grace, he made his divine presence known throughout my mother's pregnancies in ways that left no doubt about his blessings. He appeared in her dreams, provided her with materialized vibhuti through different messengers and devotees, and even guided her to name me Sai. Each of these moments served as a testament to his love. It's no exaggeration to say that Swami's blessings surrounded me even before I entered this world. This story is more about the origin of my name. It is a reminder of how Swami's grace shapes our lives in the most profound ways. For me, the journey with Sai began before I took my first breath, and it continues to unfold every day. Through him, I am reminded of the power of faith, surrender, and gratitude. Growing up in the center provided me with a beautiful and unique perspective of Swami and his grace. My entire family was deeply involved in both the center and the Satya Sai school, which meant that Swami's teachings weren't just something we heard about during Bhajans or SSC classes. It was a way of life for us. From an early age, I saw my parents fully immersed in Swami's mission, and their dedication greatly influenced my understanding of what it means to live a life of service. Some of you may already know this, but for those of you who don't, I had the privilege of attending the Satya Sai school from kindergarten to grade 8. Both this experience and the experience of center allowed me to immerse myself in Swami's teachings in a way that was not only continuous, but deeply impactful. On Monday to Friday, I was taught Swami's fundamental human values woven seamlessly into our regular Ontario school education. It wasn't just about the academics, however. It was about character building, understanding the essence of service, and learning how to live a life centered on Swami's ideals. Every subject, activity, and interaction served as a gentle reminder of these core human values, helping us not only to learn them, but to live them. My weekends were just as enriching, as they were devoted to activities at the center. Whether it was preparing for Baba's birthday plays, participating in Savor activities with my family, or attending regular SSC classes, every moment was an opportunity to deepen my understanding of Swami and his teachings. Each of these experiences offered a different perspective on what Swami's life was like, the lessons he wanted us to learn, and how we can embody his values in our daily lives. My parents actively served in multiple capacities at the center and the Satya Sai school, whether it was organizing events, leading initiatives, or simply being present to offer help whenever needed. They embraced every opportunity to contribute. I have fond memories growing up of cleaning up the glass doors with my sister while waiting for my parents when they were in some sort of meeting, going to park cleanups, wheelchair cleaning, and tree planting with my dad on the weekend, and always helping up set up chairs and the tables in the rec room with my friends to avoid Bhajans. Looking back, I realized how blessed I was to grow up in an environment steeped in Swami's love and guidance. The combination of school and center activities ensured that I was constantly surrounded by his teachings, not just in theory, but in practice. It wasn't about isolated lessons, but a continuous journey of growth, reflection, and learning. These experiences not only shaped my understanding of Swami, but also my approach to life. They gave me a framework to navigate challenges, a sense of purpose, and a heart full of gratitude for his presence in every moment. As I grew older, my relationship with Swami naturally evolved. Transitioning into high school and stepping outside my nurturing environment of Swami's fold was both a challenge and an opportunity for growth. For the first time, I found myself in situations where I wasn't always surrounded by like-minded people or immersed in the values that I'd grown up with. The way I experienced Swami had changed tremendously during this time of my life, and I began to redefine what he meant to me on a personal level. Swami has always been more than a spiritual figure in my life. I've always seen him as a friend. For those of you who know me well, it's no secret that I've never been drawn to Bhajans or Vedas, or frankly sitting inside the hall that we're in today. But my connection to Swami has always been simple and conversational. My daily prayer reflects this simplicity. Every day when I wake up and I pray at 6 o'clock, or when I try to pray at 6 o'clock, I say, "Thank you, Swami. Please continue to guard and guide me and do what is right for me." This prayer has been my constant anchor, allowing me to feel Swami's presence in a way that feels natural and authentic to me. I've never viewed Swami as someone to fear or someone to worship in the traditional sense. Instead, as a loving guide, someone who looks out for me the same way an older sibling would have. He's the one who silently supports, encourages, and protects me. And luckily, I have the incredible example of my own older sister and my parents who live their own lives with devotion and humility and gave me the space and freedom to define my relationship with Swami without any pressure. Their unwavering faith and dedication showed me what it meant to live a life inspired by his teachings. But they never imposed their way of connecting with him on me. During high school, when I found myself surrounded by different influences and navigating new environments, I leaned on Swami in ways that were new to me. He became my confidant, the one I turned to in moments of doubts, uncertainty, or loneliness. My simple prayer was a reminder that I wasn't alone, and there was always someone looking over me with unconditional love and care. This phase of my life taught me that Swami's presence isn't confined to rituals, spiritual gatherings, or places of worship. His guidance is woven into the fabric of our everyday lives, in the choices we make, the values we uphold, and the relationships we nurture. For me, discovering and defining my relationship with Swami was not about a prescribed path, but about building a personal connection rooted in trust, love, and openness. Even now, to this day, I still see Swami as my closest friend, a constant source of strength and wisdom, and his presence reminds me that faith is not about perfection, but about connection. And it's through that disconnection that I continue to grow. One of the most significant ways that I've come to experience Swami in my day-to-day life is through seva. Again, watching my parents and sister devote themselves wholeheartedly to the center, community, and the community around us set an incredible example for me from a very young age. Their actions were not about recognition or obligation, but about living Swami's teachings of love, humility, and selflessness. Observing them gave me a clear understanding of what seva truly means and helped me define how I approach service in my own life. For me, seva isn't necessarily about large-scale projects that impact many people. It's about little acts of kindness and care that embodies Swami's mission. Selfless service can take many forms, and I try to incorporate it into my day-to-day life, my personal conduct, and my behaviors. For example, I deeply believe mentorship is a great form of seva. While it may seem its impact is smaller or more personal, the difference it makes in someone's life can be profound. By guiding and supporting someone, you embody Swami's message of selflessness, love, and service. Seva manifests in different areas of my life in different ways. At home, it's being present and available for my family members, offering my time and attention when they need support. At work, it's taking on mentorship roles and stepping beyond my role and define responsibilities to try to positively impact my colleagues and those around me. In the community, it can be engaging in volunteer initiative, whether it's donating bloods, organizing events, participating in drives, or simply offering a helping hand whenever needed. Even in my university life, seva became a natural extension of who I was. During my undergrad, I was deeply involved in a lot of extracurricular activities and often helped host many campus events. One particular habit of mine was picking up garbage after events, and this stood out to those around me. People would often comment, saying things like, "Sai, why are you doing this? There are people paid up to clean up to do that. You don't have to do that." But for me, simple tasks like this were second nature, ingrained in me from a young age. And without even thinking about it, I was living Swami's teachings. These seemingly small acts of service are my way of experiencing Swami and connecting to him and his mission. What I've come to realize is that seva isn't defined by scale, but by the intention behind it. Whether it's helping a stranger, being a source of support to loved ones, or contributing to a community effort, seva is about embodying Swami's love in every interaction. Through these acts, I feel Swami's presence guiding me, reminding me that true service comes from the heart and reflects his grace. Swami's presence and teachings have shaped my life in profound ways, not through one or two defined moments, but through a series of daily experiences and realizations. From being born into Swami's fold to growing up immersed in his teachings and values, I've had the incredible blessing of seeing his grace manifest my life through countless people and in countless different ways. My journey with Swami began before even my birth, as my parents witnessed his blessings throughout my mother's pregnancies. Naming me Sai was their way of honoring his divine presence in our lives, and in my life specifically, a presence that has guided and protected me ever since I was born. Growing up in the center and attending the Satya Sai school deepened my understanding of what his teachings are and what truly his life and his message was. And from character-building lessons in school to service activities in the center, my upbringing was steeped in the values of love, service, and unity. As I transitioned into adulthood, my relationship with Swami evolved, stepping outside the nurturing environment of Swami's fold during high school and university challenged me to redefine my connection with him. I began to see Swami not as a distant figure to be worshipped, but as a close friend and guide, someone I could turn to with a simple prayer. This personal conversational bond became the anchor that kept me grounded. One of the most meaningful ways I've experienced Swami is through service. Inspired by my family's example, I've embraced selfless service as a way of living. His teachings, whether mentoring others, being present for loved ones, or taking small unnoticed actions, like picking up garbage after events, I've learned that seva is not about intention, is about attention, not skill. Through all these experiences, Swami's presence has been a constant reminder of the transformative power of love. His guidance continues to shape my life, inspiring me to live with gratitude and a commitment to embody his values in everything I do. I want to thank you all for giving me this opportunity to share about my relationship with Swami and share how I understand his life and his message. And as I end this heart to heart, I want you to leave a message from my heart to yours. It doesn't matter how you connect with Swami and what you do. It's about why you do it and who you're doing it for. Om Shri Sai Ram.
I offer my humble pranams at the lotus feet of Mother Sai. Sai Ram, everybody. As I am getting ready to share my blessings, I am deeply moved with gratitude, with love, with peace for these phenomenal blessings. Sometimes I wonder, what did I do to deserve this? Because Bhagavan has been very gracious. So I do want to start by saying, just in case I get emotional, I do want you to bear with me, because it's been an amazing journey. Give you guys some context. I come from a very small town called Trichy. Those of you who know Chennai, it's an hour by flight. If you are familiar with Bangalore, Puttaparthi, it's about 2.5, 3 hours flight. I come from a very spiritual family. I've seen my grandmother talk to Lord Muruga, including what is being prepared on that day. She would have gone and she would have sent my father to bring beans and carrots. By the time my father comes back from the market, she'll say, Muruga told me that he wants potato. So I was raised listening to this. So, as a child, you pretend to talk to God because you're seeing your elders talk, right? Monkey do what monkey see. She doesn't like us to touch the prayer room because she's also very orthodox and very ritualistic. So she gives us little toys. And I don't know why. She said, I think you should talk to Ganesh, because she was all about Muruga. So I actually grew fond and talking to Muruga. I went to a school in South India. There is a spiritual organization pretty much like Bhagavan's. It's called Kanchi Kamakoti Mutt. If you guys go and Google Kanchi Kamakoti, that's where I went to school. And the school is very much like our Satya Sai school. Lot of values were involved. Every Friday we had Bhajans. We had we call him Vadyar, actually essentially a priest who comes and does Ramayana and Mahabharata renditions on the weekdays, one of the weekdays, 2 hours, that was our class period. Service was very much part of our program, so from grade 5, we used to have an orphanage right across the school. They used to take us to nearby villages so that we can help with them, actually tutor English to the children. So that's how I grew. And I'm also a very avid reader. I read all multiple newspapers and books. And one of my favorite editor was Kushwant Singh, who then was the editor of Indian Express. He used to tear Bhagavan apart. You should see the way he writes. He's so eloquent. Because Swami was at that time a person who was materializing things. So this is the phase where Bhagavan is all about miracles, right? So Swami is probably in his 60s, 70s, probably in his 60s. He's always decked up. And then he's driving out in all these foreign cars in a village where there's so much poverty outside. And then you see all women in, expensive silk saris and jewelries and diamonds and gold. And it kind of didn't resonate with spirituality if you think about it. And so I was heavily influenced because I really do like him. And as a closing thing, he evolved eventually, and he wrote one of the best, before he retired, he wrote one of the best closing editorial about Bhagavan, saying, Bhagavan indeed is God. That's for another day. So coming from there, Swami had come to the town where I am, and it was so easy. Access to Bhagavan was very easy, but I don't think I had enough respect because of the influence, and from where I come, Kanchi Kamakoti is a very small, no fuss place, and this was something that I couldn't relate and connect. Fast forward, I am in Canada. I am about 28, 29-year-old woman with a 4-year-old boy. And at work, there was a gentleman by name Ashok Sareng, those of you who know. He used to be a guru at our center. So he was, we were colleagues, and I had to take a meeting with him, and I had to bring him into my office for a discussion. If you guys remember, in those days, there used to be a CPU, and then on top of it, we usually keep the monitor, right? So on that CPU, I had a small Ganesh Murthy, probably the size of my thumb. So he came in and he said, oh, you are Hindu, because that's not something he has seen in Canada. You don't walk into your boss's office and see something to do with God, let alone Ganesha. We had a good conversation, and I was just telling him I'm from South, he's from Delhi, and he used to be a bank manager. And the conversation ended, and I am actually speaking to another co-worker of mine saying, I need a babysitter for my son. And Ashok we had just talked, and we both were very close by, and both his daughter and my son were going to the same school. His daughter was few years, Upama was almost 5 years older to him. And so he actually tapped on me and said, I heard that you want. My wife, Rajani, is actually looking for a work. It will be great if you want us to babysit. I didn't mind. I said, sure, I will take it, because I was very desperate. The truth was I was desperate. So I said, anyway, he's working in the same office, so I will send him. And every time we got an opportunity to talk, he will say, you must come to the Sai Center. You must come to the Sai Center. And he's already told me that he follows Bhagavan, and I was very surprised coming from North, how he knew about Bhagavan from South. You know, Shirdi Sai was easier access. He gave a story, and then this is now Divesh's birthday. I never celebrated Divesh's birthday because I didn't have the financial means to celebrate in those days. So I'm just picking up the child, and Rajani insists that I come upstairs to her house. Usually they'll send the child by the elevator. I pick him up and we walk home. It's a good 10, 12 minutes walk. So I go upstairs, and it's a single bedroom apartment, and by the kitchen, there is a small round table which they are using it as a dining table. She had hung few streamers from the roof, from the ceiling, and she had cooked a vegetarian pulav, and she had baked a cake. And she said, why don't you join us? Divyesh told me that it's his birthday and that Ma never does anything. So we did what we did, and Ashok's mother was there. By culture, you touch elders' feet to get blessings. So I said, get blessings from grandma. And as he was touching, she placed her hand on Divyesh and said, this is Swami's child. You should bring him to the center. And Rajni had a toy, one of those toys where you can pull the strings and the hands and the legs will move. The English term escapes my mind right now. Puppet, thank you. So she gave him a puppet. I am bringing Divyesh home. Something has changed. The way she said it, the way she placed her hands on Divyesh's head, and the fact that I got a puppet. Remember, it's a 15 minutes walk. And as I am walking, I am like, is this? And I've been writing to Ganesh, telling him, I really need you to bring me to a spiritual organization. I also go to Ramakrishna Mat. So I am like, I need some place to ground me, Bhagavan, to act as a kind of a fence, if you will, to make sure that I am grounded. I am also a single parent, so I didn't want to go down the wrong path, because being alone in a country like this, it's very normal to have a girlfriend, a boyfriend, and every other friend. And I'm also I'm only a 28-year-old woman. So my constant letter was, I want to be in a place where that place will be a watchdog, that out of fear for them, I will stay the course. That was my only prayer. So I decided to bring Divyesh to York Center. So we are carpooling. So there's a study circle. Paul, there was a gentleman by name Paul, Chetan Bhai. They are conducting the study circle. And this is the opening scene of the study circle. Arun Sivaji, one of our youths, he is actually receiving a call. And he picks up the phone. Before he receives the call, he says, oh God, I have to clean the house, I have to do my homework, I have to go to work, my parents are on my back to clean my room. I don't know what I'm going to do, God. And then I have to watch this match. So the phone rings, he picks up the phone, and on the other side is God. So he says, who is this? He goes, God. So Harun goes, are you kidding me? He goes, no, you just called. He said, yes, I did. What is your problem? He's explaining, my mom is behind my back, blah, blah, blah. The doorbell rings. Arun says, can I place you on hold? Somebody is at the door. He places the phone on the hold. He opens the door. His friends are barging in. I don't know if you remember Satish Bhai's son. Those were the kids who are coming in. And one is bringing some chips. It's all make-believe, He gives, here is the chip, here is the Coke. Why have you not switched on the TV? The match has already started. And so they all start enjoying the match. And one kid is turning to have a drink. He says, Arun, your phone is off the hook. He goes, oh my God, I totally forgot. I put it on hold. So he goes back on the phone and he goes, God, are you there? He goes, I'm always waiting for you. So he goes, I'm really busy right now, God. I have to watch this match. Is it okay if I call you another time? God says, absolutely. I knew I'm at the right place. So I've been asking. Ashok has been on my case for almost 6 months. And this is my first trip to the center. And that's how the study circle opened. I don't think there is any other better way God could have told that you are at the right place at the right time. That's how my love affair with Bhagavan started. It is a love affair. So now things are going well. I'm trying to get a grip of how the center organizes. I am somebody that if I see something and if I can do, I actually step in. I'm quite an extrovert. I'm not shy. I can easily talk to people and mix. And I also like to be in time. When people tell me that it is 2 o'clock, in my head it is 1:30. So we used to come to the center very early, and people used to be carrying all these pictures, all of this. So I used to help them carry the pictures. We used to put the chairs. So a lot of people who are coming in the beginning are kind of familiarizing. And then I saw a couple of study circles, so I went I went to Chetan Bhai and said, I think you guys have got the concept, but I don't think you're delivering it well. I can help you deliver. And that's how I started. So I actually facilitated study circle. As I said, I'm not new to spirituality. I'm very familiar with that. I was just not familiar with this package. Right? It came in a different package. So things are going well, and I hear, discourses, and there is Jyoti meditation. And I think one thing that kind of stuck a chord with me in those days, in the first day of SSC, there is a real serious assembly. And Sister Chandra made it very clear that the way I understood it, I'm sure she is always eloquent, that now we are going to take care of your child and we are going to ground them in the spiritual and life, and we will check on you, we will make home visits. Remember, those are all the things I am craving for, being alone with a 4-year-old. So I said, I am at the right place. There were a lot of people who said, oh, this is not for us, and walked. I said, okay, I'm at the right place. So things are going on, and now it's November. All this hubbub about the birthday. And there is such a bad weather, and all this black ice and everything. I am stuck at work because we had a server failure. And now it is day 2. So you can imagine when you are in a business where servers are how you make money, servers not working is not a fun thing. So we are all at it, and I have a babysitter. My landlords were the babysitters, so I am in a basement apartment, and they are in the main house. So at about 7:30, they'll usually send Divesh down because that's the time I usually pull in. So they have already sent him downstairs. They said mom should be arriving, and they have left for Chicago. Those days you don't all have all these phones and all this, right? And the code between me and Divesh is, I will ring 3 times, the phone will cut. I will ring again 2 times, the phone will cut. I will ring 3 times and the phone will cut, and then if it is the call, then he can pick up. So 323 was the guide. Otherwise, he's not supposed to pick up phones. We used to have telemarketing in those days, right? It used to come to our homes. And I used to run part of an operation teams that runs telemarketing campaigns. So they have left. I am actually at work. And I'm trying to reach Divesh. So he picks up. He says, I'm so scared, Ma, because there's so much wind. And the basement apartment is at a ground level. And the wind makes a sound as if ghost. That's exactly how it was. The backyard had about 40-year-old oak trees. So it was quite scary. I said, don't worry, beta. I was still struggling to look at Bhagavan as God, because I've just come in September, folks, and this is now November. Because I am so used to seeing God in a very different form, so for me this was difficult. And people had left some calendars to be taken away, and I just, for whatever reason, I took a calendar of Bhagavan with him in a white robe, and I just hung it by the side of the sofa bed on the wall. And so I just said, but Divesh, sit in the sofa, switch on the television, and just put it to the maximum volume that you don't hear the outside noise. And right above you is Swami. I think Swami will take care of you. I don't think I meant any of it. The truth is, I have no means of going back home. This job is important to me. And I'm trying to see if I can send one of my managers to cut him loose. He can go stay with Divesh, Girth, so and then I can pull in. And he's okay. He's like, okay, will you come? I said, yeah. Don't worry, I or Girth will come. He knows the operations manager. I let him go, and then I get a call into my office in less than 10 minutes. And Divesh is crying. And all he's saying is, don't come, don't come. Believe it or not, my heart stopped. I thought that somebody has come into the house and that Divesh is in danger, and probably he doesn't want me to come and he's trying to protect me. That's what I thought. I am like, yes, are you okay? Are you okay? I am okay, but don't come, I am okay. After 2-3 times going back and forth, I am crying. I'm like, Divesh, you're making me very scared. Please calm down. Tell me what happened. He says, Bhagavan just called. He said, I am here. I'm going to fix the problem at work, and mom is going to come right back. You're going to listen to what mom said. Switch on the television after I hang up. He asked, what is 2 + 2? He said, 4. He asked, what is 2 × 2? Divesh said, 4. He said, good boy, you are going to do well. I said, why did you pick up the phone? We had a deal. He said, that's exactly how the phone rang, mom. That sealed it all. That was the first day. As I was driving home, 15 minutes, servers were all up. I don't know what caused the problem. I don't know how it got fixed. I'm home. For the first time, I realized that that is God. That is how you connect with that grace, with that supreme power. I am good with words. I know creation, creator. That was my first experience. And since then, every other idol and pictures in my altar room we removed. And to this date, we don't have any other pictures in our altar room other than Bhagavan and a small idol of Ganesh. That was the day I connected to Bhagavan as God. And since that day, I don't think I know to connect to any other God. I haven't taken Divesh to any of the temples. It's Prashanti, it's center, it's the altar at home. Because I don't want to confuse that child. There is enough confusion out there. I don't think this is a place that I wanted to give him a choice. So that's how our journey started. So now you know it truly is a love affair. So now days go by. Times are just going on. There is a dynamic parenting program, and I am one of those persons, folks. I'm truly, truly blessed. As I said in the beginning, I'm not sure if I am deserving of it. Every day, I work very hard to deserve it. I want to make sure that Bhagavan knows that I deserve it every day. So I do make sure that I focus on my sadhanas. I focus on my commitments. I really do think about what I'm thinking, what I'm doing, how am I interacting. To a large extent, it has become a muscle memory now. And I don't get caught up in ego. So I have really, really been fortunate. So the dynamic parenting, there was a workshop. I was fortunate to attend this. There was a SSEHV workshop that Vinod Bhai held at that time. I don't think Vinod Bhai knew who I am. But he said, would you like to come and join and listen in? And I said, yeah, sure. So I said, let me do that. I used to work on Sundays, but I really liked the Sunday program at the center. So I did tell Swami that I'd like to make sure that I am able to come on Sunday, so you need to do a trade. The very next week I was promoted at work, and I only had to work 9 to 5, Monday to Friday. The organization was bought over, and somebody came to me, I still remember Amy Steels. She said, we are really short of staff. We think you will be able to do. So we think we are going to promote you as a manager. Are you good? My question was, what's the shift? She said 9 to 5, Monday to Friday. I said, right on. I'm good, right? I don't think I have applied for a job or interviewed for a job since then, including the one that I hold. If there is time, I'll come to that. So now times are going on, and I'm getting ready to buy my first house. So 8 years, 1 day a meal. I'm saving little by little because I want to move out of that basement. By this time, I'd been to few of the devotees' home, and I've seen their altar. And I wanted to buy a house not to be comfortable, so Bhagavan has a room. So a very small townhouse came that I think I could afford. So we went, saw, and I fell in love with this place. And we came, and by the time I came and made an offer, apparently they were trying to reach the agent. It was a black box. So we went and opened and saw the house and came. And I could feel something, and I said, that's the place I want to buy. And it was well within my budget. But actually, they had already accepted an offer. So when I went and saw the house was actually gone, sold. Every single day, I used to be talking about the house. Divyesh, he was probably 6 at that time, he said, you are a hypocrite. I said, do you even know what that word means? Right? He said, you said Swami, if it is your Swami, will give it to you, and you don't have to ask or worry. I said, you are very right. I woke up, it was a Thursday, I wake up early morning with a dream. The house has a French door, but in the dream, the entire back wall was a French door. Although it's a small door, it felt like it's a long door. Bhagavan is holding his robe like this and coming into the house. There's a small table with an altar. Chetan Bhai is saying, Kala Swami is here, you should ask him to now light the lamp, and I just woke up. I get a call saying that the house is back in the market. And I told the agent, yeah, go ahead, make an offer. And I had already done my pre-mortgage and all of that good stuff. And I had already pulled out my RRSP. You can borrow from the RRSP for the first-time home piece. And I'm supposed to be giving them a $5,000 check. So I give them a check. I come home, and the bank says, we made a mistake. We forgot to get a signature from you, so we could not transfer the money. Please don't ask them to present the check. So I'm calling the agent, freaking out, and the agent goes, then they are going to pull the offer, Kala. But I said, I really love this house. And I said, whatever happens, happens. I am calling him at 10 o'clock. At 12 o'clock, he calls me back and says, what do you mean there is no money in your account? There was plenty of money, they already cashed it. I go to the bank. Then they say, oh my God, by mistake we credited your account with $10,000. Do you think bank credits accounts by mistake, folks? I don't think so. And I only pulled 5,000, that's all I had. And those days, that's all you needed to buy a home, as long as you had a good credit and you qualified. Gone are those days. So they are like, you need to pay back. I said, book an appointment with your manager. Here is my availability. I'm not here for your availability. You made the mistake. Here is my availability. I told him, I have no money. You're going to credit, and I'm not refusing to give you the money, but you are going to wait. So that's how I got the house that I am living in. I have never seen Bhagavan in the house, folks, but because I travel quite a bit, and Divyesh, as a 16-year-old, has been in the house alone for the most part, I am blessed to have somebody to come and help me with the house cleaning. She has seen Swami several times. She thinks that it is my father. Because she doesn't speak English and speak only Spanish, I go with the flow. To the extent that she dropped the iPad and it broke. And Swami said, she will not get upset. Just write a note for her that you broke the iPad so that she's not upset with her son. Right? I've been asking her to clean behind my stove and she always forgets. Swami once said, she's been telling you to clean behind the stove. I think you should pull and clean behind the stove. That's how much Bhagavan holds me close to him. I'm truly privileged. I'm truly blessed. And I think being part of, I'm not sure if I would have had this deep of a connection with Bhagavan if I had been in any other center but the York. I think the people that I met at York, and I continue to meet and build relationship, they truly are connected to that energy, and when you meet them, talk to them, spend some time with them and embrace them, I don't think they are aware, but I think their grace and blessings and energy somehow passes on to you. And so I truly feel privileged. While I have had Bhagavan's darshan, just not in the precious grounds of Prashanti, I think York is equally precious, and I'm very grateful that I am able to come to the center as often as I can come. How are we doing for time? 5 more minutes. So I'm going to share with you just one more incident. And I travel quite a bit for work, and I'm always I'm on the edge to get back home because there's a child who is alone, although he's over the age of 16 and he's very much qualified to be alone. Now he's married and he's expecting his first baby, so he's moved out, but this is while he was still living with me. And the flights were cancelled from Tampa to Toronto due to weather. And they said and during winter, there is only one flight out of Tampa into Toronto, and there's only one flight in. So the morning flight goes from here there, and then there is a night 8:30 flight that comes back here. So this means that I have to wait until the next night, but they were willing to send me to Minneapolis to make the next connection. I said, okay, 4 hours, I will make it. So I get down at Minneapolis. It's like a small, dinky little place, very dark. There is hardly any light. There are probably 2 people. If somebody kills you, nobody will know that you got killed in an airport. I became very scared. So I didn't know what to do. I was even scared of going to the washroom. And I'm just walking up and down, and I'm telling Bhagavan, you need to show me that you are here. And the next thing I know, I go to the washroom, I come back to sit to wait for the flight. A gentleman shows up and he says, you look very familiar. I had no clue who he is. I said, oh my God, I hope it's not somebody that I know and I'm forgetting. I said, the first thing I said is, maybe you would have seen me in the Sai Center. I said, in York Sai Center. He goes, no, I haven't seen you there. I said, do you go to the Scarborough Center? I've also been, because he said, where do you live? He lives in Scarborough. And his name was Satyanarayana. We had very nice chats. He talked to me about how I came and what he said, you seem to be so much in love with Swami, tell me. And I'm yapping my heart out. We get on a flight and the flight is fairly empty. I said, I was nervous, I'm glad you are here, so maybe when we get off, we can carpool, because I'm really scared of now coming home alone. He said, yeah, sure. When I got down, there was no such person. I am very careful what I ask Bhagavan, because every little thing I ask, it could be very silly, sometimes it's chocolates, I get it. So I'm very careful what I ask. I do tell Bhagavan, I don't want to trouble you with little things. So 2 months ago, one of them called me and said, Bhagavan said, you are no longer inviting you into your little things. Bhagavan wants to be invited into little things. While you are definitely pulling him into your big, bold things, Why have you stopped inviting? Swami said she stopped inviting me into her little things. I take him along when I'm going for a walk. I actually even take him when I'm watching a chick flick. I'm like, come on, Bhagwan, let's go. We'll have some fun. Right? So now I've learned to start doing it. The ultimate message that I want to share is, if your cup is empty, Bhagavan can fill it. If you go in front of him with a full cup, there is nothing for him to fill. And who you are depends on where you are. A bottle of water in a grocery store, in a Costco, probably 30 bottles or 24 bottles is $3. You go to a convenience store, a bottle is $2. You go to an airport, it is $3 or $4. And in a flight, it is $7. It's the same brand, same water. It's where you are. So I've learned to associate myself with the right people, because my value is based on with whom I am associated, and that is all of you here. I'm eternally grateful for all of you, for guiding me, for showering me with your love, for all of your blessings, because there is a saying, if you want to go far, you need to go with people. If you want to go fast, you go alone. So I do want to go far in the journey, and it is with all of you. So as I offer my pranams to Bhagavan, my pranams to each and every one of you. Thank you.
That was an emotional session, I guess, for all of us. As we come to the end of today's Heart to Heart series, our hearts are full of gratitude and inspiration. We have been truly blessed to hear from both of you, Sai Sudesh and Sister Kala. Brother Sai Sudesh, your thoughtful insights and your mature understanding, especially as young adult, have inspired all of us. You have shown us that age is no barrier when it comes to spiritual practice and self-reflection. Your insights, especially as a young adult navigating the challenges of the modern world, offer us invaluable perspectives and on self-reflection and spiritual growth. Sister Kala, as I mentioned in the opening remarks, your vibrant energy and your heartfelt sharing have touched us all. Your life experience is a testament for the power of love, compassion, and service. Your reflections reminds that the journey of self-discovery is one of the constant growth, and through love, we can truly align ourselves with the divine. Every one of us here carries a very unique journey, as we all know, woven in threads of joy, sorrows, and struggle. As the session draws to a close, what truly matters, like Sister Kala said, is how we rise above the obstacles that life throws our way, navigating our challenges with grace and resilience. Brothers and sisters, what I gathered from this reflection series is, while there are countless deviations scattered across this world, it is a rare gift to encounter a guiding light like Rajini in the beginning, someone who sees us, holds our hands, and gently steers us towards the right path. In a world filled with noise is the presence of such a soul, and of course Bhagwan's grace, that we are never alone in our journey. Once again, thank you to both of you. Thank you to everyone who joined virtually for this wonderful program. Jai Sai Ram. We'll resume our next session at 3 o'clock. We'll have a quick 10 minutes break.
Mic check. Testing, testing 1, testing, testing 2. Mic check, testing, testing for sound. 1, 1, 2, 2.
Mic check. Mic. Priya's mic.
My loving pranams at the lotus feet of our dear Bhagwan. Respected elders, brothers and sisters, Om Shri Sai Ram. My name is Priya Sankat, for those who don't know me. On behalf of the Center President, Sri Sathya Sai Baba Center of Toronto, York, Brother Rohil Sumbli, and I would like to welcome all of you today on this auspicious day of Bhagwan's 99th birthday. It is truly an honor and a privilege to be here with all of you today, and I feel deeply blessed to introduce our special guest for today's session, Sai Ram Katha, Guiding Grace Across Ages, the unified teachings of Sri Ram, Sri Krishna, and Sri Sathya Sai Baba. This special Sai Ram Katha session celebrates and draws on the divine continuity of the incarnations of Sri Ram, Sri Krishna, and Sri Sathya Sai Baba, illustrating the divine's recurring presence on earth to uplift humanity through righteousness, peace, and love. Through verses from the Srimad Ramayana, the Ram Katha Rasavahini, the Bhagavad Gita, Sathya Sai Speaks, and other sacred scriptures, we glorify and celebrate the Lord's omnipresence, omnipotence, and omniscience. Each avatar answers the call of their era. Sri Ram as the embodiment of truth and duty, Sri Krishna as the messenger of love and wisdom, and Sri Sathya Sai Baba as the unifying force of faith in the Kali Yuga, guiding us towards universal love and spiritual unity. In each yug, specific practices lead to spiritual growth, and in this era, Sri Satya Sai Baba taught us the power of remembering God's name. This timeless practice nurtures divine virtues in our hearts, creating an inner Ayodhya or Prashanti Nilayam, a place of peace and devotion. This session invites us to consistently follow the path of love exemplified by the avatars. As Swami said, "Your life is my message," encouraging all to live lives that reflect love, compassion, and unity. By doing so, individuals serve as instruments and become the living representation of Swami's spiritual message, with the guiding principle of love all, serve all, aimed at fostering spiritual transformation and the expansion of collective consciousness. Bhagwan Baba's true birthday lies in our hearts, and as we grow in joy, love, and service. It is in this spirit of divine love and guidance that we have gathered today for this very special session. Our goal is to immerse ourselves in the stories and experiences that highlight the divine grace of Sai Baba, stories that uplift us, that encourage us to keep faith, and that show us the power of his love in our lives. And to guide us through this Sai Ram Katha, we are immensely fortunate to have with us today Pandit Neil Dev Prasadji. Panditji is an ardent devotee of Satya Sai Baba and an embodiment of his message of unity and service. Let me take a moment to share a little bit about Panditji's remarkable journey. Pandit Neil Dev Prasadji hails from Trinidad and Tobago in the West Indies, where he was trained under the loving guidance of his father, Pandit, teacher Tulsi Prasad, who was personally blessed by Satya Sai Baba in Puttaparthi in the early 1980s. Panditji's spiritual roots go deep, grounded in the traditions of his family and guided by his guru, Pandit Ram Prasad Tiwari. In the early 2000s, Panditji felt a profound inner calling to Satya Sai Baba's divine mission. Since then, his spiritual journey has evolved, bringing him closer to Swami's teachings of love, peace, and selfless service. Panditji now travels extensively across North America and the Caribbean, conducting devotional sessions such as Ramayan satsangs and yagnas, infused with the essence of Swami's message. His teachings bring together people from diverse backgrounds, and his words serve as a source of comfort, hope, and spiritual upliftment. During the pandemic, Panditji's commitment to the service of humanity expanded further with the launch of Shivoham, Universal Healing Through Oneness, a bi-weekly live virtual gathering. This online initiative was a beacon of light, offering spiritual connection and healing during a time of isolation and uncertainty. It was truly a lifeline for many, as it helped people from all around the world to stay spiritually connected and supported. Beyond his spiritual endeavors, Panditji is also an accomplished musician, having performed with legends such as Anup Jalota, Anuradha Paudwal, and the late Sri Hariom Sharan. His music resonates deeply with devotees, elevating the soul and creating an atmosphere of peace and devotion. And while Panditji serves as the Information Technology Director at a cloud-based telecommunications company, he remains deeply committed to his spiritual work, always balancing his professional life with his divine calling. We are truly honored to have him here with us today to share his experiences and insights, and to take us on a journey through the stories of Bhagwan Sri Satya Sai Baba's divine life and teachings. Without further ado, I would like to officially welcome Pandit Neil Dev Prasadji and his team to take us through the experiences of Simran, Sankirtan, and Samarpan. May we all be inspired and uplifted through this divine storytelling session. Om Shri Sai Ram.
Om Shri Sai Ram. प्रेम से बोलो गजानन स्वामी की जय. Om Sai Ram. My dear brothers and sisters, let us sit upright for a few minutes, gently closing our eyes. We take a deep breath in. Exhale gently, we drop the shoulders and relax. Yet another deep breath in as we listen to the mystical sounds of the Basuri in the background. Exhale. Once more, fill the lungs to capacity now with fresh oxygen. Let the blood flow through all the fine capillaries of the body, bringing out anything that's negative, but instilling positivity as we drop the shoulders again and relax. With the Basuri in the background now, listen to the mind for 1 minute. Dear beloved Swami, I offer my humble pranams at your lotus feet. Thank you for bringing us together today as one family to celebrate your birthday in satsang. Swami, we ask you to guide us and to be ever present as you have been. Shri Ganeshaya Namaha, Shri Saraswatye Namaha, Shri Guru Charana Kamalebhyo Namo Namaha. Gurur Brahma Gurur Vishnu Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha, Gurur Sakshat Parabrahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Ya Devi Sarvabhuteshu Matrurupena Samstita, Namastasyai 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 Namo Namaha. Karpura Gauram Karunavataram Samsar Saram Bhujagendraharam Sada Vasantam Hridayarabinde Bhavam Bhavani Sahitam अतुलित बलधामं हेमशैलाभदेहं दनुजवन कृशानुं ज्ञानिनामग्रगण्यं सकलगुणनिधानं वानराणामधीशं रघुपतिप्रियभक्तं वातजातं नमामि। ॐ भूर्भुवः स्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्। प्रेम से बोलो गजानन स्वामी की जय। Swagatam. Welcome this evening to the Board of Trustees, Board of Directors, my dear loving uncles and aunties, brothers and sisters, children, my beloved parents. During our session today, we will first examine the meaning and the significance of Avatar. We'll take a closer look at the advent of Bhagwan Sri Ram through the pages of the Holy Ramayana, Ramcharitamanas, written by Kavi Samrat Sahitya Chakravarti Goswami Tulsidas Ji. We'll speak of the advent of Bhagwan Sri Krishna from the Srimad Bhagavad Mahapurana, and the advent, of course, of our dearly beloved Bhagwan Sri Satya Sai Baba from the sacred scriptures as quoted directly from his divine lips. We humbly ask you simply to clap, to sing and to chant in unison the glorious names of Bhagwan. And let us continue to celebrate the timeless love and presence of our dearly beloved Bhagwan, Sri Satya Sai Baba, on his 99th birthday. Our first bhajan says, let us bow in reverence to Lord Ganesha. Let us bow in absolute purity to the name of Sai, to the elephant-faced Lord Ganesha, the darling son of Mother Parvati and Bhagwan Shankara, to the sacred feet of Sadguru, oh so purifying the name of Sai. Vakratunda Mahakaya Suryakoti Samaprabha Nirvignam Kuru me Deva Sarvakaryeshu Sarvada. Ganesha Charanam Param Pavanam Satya Sainam Gajananam. Ganesha Charanam Param Pavanam Satya Sainam Gajananam. Nitya Smaranam Param Pavanam Satya Sainam Gajananam.
Nitya Smaranam Param Pavanam Satya Sainam Gajananam.
Nitya Smaranam Param Pavanam Satya Sainam Gajananam. Sadguru Charanam Param Pavanam Satya Sainam Gajananam. सत्यसायिनं गजाननं सद्गुरुचरणं परमपावनं सत्यसायिनं गजाननं भवभयहरणं परमपावनं सत्यसायिनं गजाननं भवभयहरणं परमपावनं सत्यसायिनं गजाननं गणेशचरणं परमपावनं सत्यसायिनं गजाननम् Our next bhajan glorifies the Guru. Our scriptures teaches us Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha, Guru Sakshat Parah Brahma, Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Glory to the revered preceptor, Mahadeva, who is the embodiment of Mother and Father, preceptor, the Trinity. जय जय गुरुदेवा श्री साई महादेवा जय जय गुरुदेवा श्री साई महादेवा जय जय गुरुदेवा श्री साई महादेवा गुरुदेवा श्री साई महादेवा जय जय 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 गुरुदेवा श्री साई महादेवा ब्रह्मा विष्णु महेश्वरा साई महादेवा ब्रह्मा विष्णु महेश्वरा साई महादेवा मातु पिता गुरुदेवा सत्य साई महादेवा मातु पिता गुरुदेवा सत्य साई महादेवा जय जय गुरुदेवा श्री 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 साई महादेवा ब्रह्मा विष्णु महेश्वरा साई महादेवा ब्रह्मा विष्णु महेश्वरा प्रेम से बोलो श्री गुरु महाराज की जय। B major. Our next bhajan is dedicated now to the Divine Mother. It says, "Glory to you, Mother, who confers love and peace and grants us liberation. Shower your mercy upon us, O Ma, Mother of this universe." Jaya Ma, Jaya Ma, Daya karo Sai Ma. Jaya Ma, bolo, Jaya Ma. भगवान श्री सच्चे साई बाबा जी की जय। My dear brothers and sisters, we ask the question, what is an avatar? Swami tells us an avatar is the coming of the nameless and the attributeless divinity in a form suitable to execute the task of destroying the wicked and protecting the good, bringing us closer to the awareness of self-realization. One may ask the question, how many or what types of avatars are there? Avatars are many in number. There are some avatars that appear on the earth only for a short period of time to fulfill their avataric mission. And then they disappear, such as Matsya avatar, the fish, Kurma avatar, the tortoise, Varaha avatar, the boar, Narishima avatar, half man, half lion, and of course the Vamana avatar, the dwarf. There is also the avatar of Rama, who is called an Amsha avatar because he shared the divinity with his three brothers. Who are they? Lakshman, Bharat, and Shatrughan. The Krishna avatar is an example of Purna avatar, the complete avatar. The Rama avatar, as we all know, took place in the Treta Yuga. Lord Narayana himself was born as the son of Dashrath and Kaikai and shared his divinity with his three brothers, Lakshman, Shatrughan, and Bharat. The purpose of the avatar was not only to destroy the wicked and to protect the good, but to set an example to the entire world. How man should observe the truth and righteousness in life. He was the very embodiment of Satya and Dharma, as Swami says in the Ramkatha Rasvahini. The Krishna avatar took place in the Dwapara Yuga, and the Krishna avatar is an avatar of love and peace. His mission was to protect the good and punish the wicked. But his main mission was to preach the gospel of life through the Bhagavad Gita, the book of song, the song of the Lord. And as Swami says in the Bhagavad Vahini, that song will carry us into the future. Then, the Sai avatar. In this Kali Yuga, who is Satya Sai Baba? And what is the purpose of his advent? And how do we attain him? Swami says in the Divine Discourse, I quote from June 19th, 1974, he says, consider the meaning of the name Sai Baba. Sa means divine, Ai or Ai means mother, and Baba means father. So, the name indicates the divine mother and father, this is Samba Shiva, which also means the divine mother and father. Your physical parents, our parents, exhibit love with a dose of selfishness, not so? But this Sai, this mother and father, showers affections or reprimands only for leading us towards victory in the struggle for self-realization. For this, Sai has to come and achieve the supreme task of uniting the entire mankind as one family through the bond of brotherhood, which is the entire cosmos, and instructing all to recognize the common divine heritage that binds man to man, so that man can rid himself of the animalistic qualities and rise to the divine, which is our goal. In the Srimad Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna tells us, he says, Ma ke Bindravan Bihari Lal ki jai, Yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bhavati bharata abhyuthanam amadharmasya tadatmanam srijamyaham paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya cha dushkritam dharma sanstharpunathaya Sambhavami yuge yuge. During these yugas, which there are 4, there are different types of sadhanas prescribed for each one of them. Let us take a closer look at what they are. In the Satyug, dhanya, meditation, and tapas, penance, were recommended. In the Treta Yuga, Yagya or yajna or Vedic sacrificial ceremonies were recommended. In the Dwapar Yuga, Archana or worship was recommended. And in this Kali Yuga, you all do it very well here at the York Sai Center. Nam Smaran, which we are going to do a lot of today. Remembrance of the Lord's name. Swami says the Krishna principle revels in delight. The Rama principle is based on the concept of obligation. The Ramayana is intended to promote the reign of truth and righteousness on earth. And the Krishna avatar was intended to give a perennial message to this entire world. If you inquire deeply, you will find that every avatar has incarnated to convey a special message and to carry out a particular purpose on this earth. My dear brothers and sisters, it is an absolute blessing now to begin an immersion into the holy scriptures of Sri Ramcharitamanas. Kavi Samrat Sahitya Chakravarti Goswami Tulsidas Ji, as he puts pen to paper as we begin. This shloka, one shloka, summarizes the entire Ramayana. I ask all of you as we chant to sit upright. Take a deep breath. Ado Ram Tapovaradi Gamanam Hatva Mrigam Kanchanam Vedehi Haranam Jatayu Maranam Sugriva Sambhasanam Valine Grahanam Samudra Taranam Lankapuri Dahanam Paschatravana Kumbhakarna Maranam Etadhi Ramayanam Etadhi Ramayanam. Prabhu Ramachandra Bhagavan ki Jai. We chant now Ramayana Sumiran Jo Sumirat Siddho Gananayak Kari Vadabadan. A beautiful prayer glorifying Mother Vani, the goddess of speech, Mother Saraswati, and of course, Lord Ganesha. Jo Sumirat Siddho Gananayak Kari Vadabadan. Jo Sumirat Siddho Gananayak Karivar Padna Karahu Anugraha Soy Buddhiraj Subhaguna Sadhana Mukha Hoi Bacha Chare Girivar Gahana Jasu Kripa Sudhaya Prabhu Sakal Kalimala Dahana Neela Saru Ruhushan Taruna Aruna Barijanayana Karahu Sumama Puradhan Sadachira Sagara Sayana Kundaindu Samade Umaramana Karunayana Jahidina Parane Kripa Maradana Mayana Bandau Guru Padaka सिंधु नर रूप हरि महामोह तमपो जासु वचन रवि कर निकरा जो सुमिरत सिद्ध हो गणनायक करिवर बदना। रामायण वंदना। ध्येयं सदा परिभवाग्नमभीष्टदोहं तीर्थास्पदं शिवबिरन् जनुतं स्मरण्यं ब्रेट्याटिहं प्रणतपाल भवामि पोतं वन्दे महापुरुषुते चरणारविन्दम्। नीलाम्भुजं श्यामलकोमलाङ्गं सीतासमारोपितुभां भाग्यं पाणो महासायकचारुचापं नमामि रामं रघुवंशनाथम्। भगवान रामचंद्र की जय। My dear friends, let me now take you on a journey back to Treta Yuga. Many, many years had passed, in King Dashrath's court, his castle, his palace. The king and his queens, they passed that stage of youthfulness and they were now approaching their senior years. But with this coming of old age, there were no signs of children, not even a son in this kingdom. Therefore, though the women's apartments, their palaces, they had all the comforts that you could think of, all the accessories for a happy existence, the hearts of the queens were torn by unrest and anxiety, despair. Because Swami Tulsidas Ji pens to paper beautifully now, as he tells us in this opening chaupai. Let us see what he says. The chorus for these chaupai is very simple. Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Okay, join with me. Shri Ram Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Rama. Shri Ram Jaya Rama Jaya Jaya Rama. Ek baar भूपति मन माही भई गलानी मोरे सुत नाही। बोलो श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम। श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम। गृह ग्रह गय उटुर चरण लागी करी विनय visala. Bolo, everybody. Shri Rama Jaya Rama Jaya Jaya Rama. Shri Rama Jaya Rama Jaya Jaya Rama. Gaur graha gaye तुरत मही पाला. गौर ग्रहा गय तुरत मही पाला. चरण लागी करी विनय विसाला. बोलो everybody. Shri Rama Jaya Rama Jaya Jaya Rama. Shri Rama Jaya Rama Jaya Jaya Rama. Prabhu Ramachandra Bhagavan ki jai. Goswami Tulsidas Ji tells us, he says beautifully, एक बार भूपति मन माही. One evening, the four queens, and the king, they sat in a room in the palace, and what happened? Bhai galani more sut nahi. They spent hours and hours in anxiety over the future of Ayodhya. Who is going to rule Ayodhya when we will pass? The question they asked themselves. And what are the prospects for prosperity and the safety? And they each now attempted to answer this question individually. At last, unable to resolve the problem, they became very heavily dejected, and they decided to consult the family preceptor. Lesson number 1 tonight. When in doubt, we go to our first gurus. And who are they? Matrudeva Bhava, Pitrudeva Bhava, mother and father first. And then we turn to the preceptor, the guru of the family, spiritual head of the family. Their guru was none other than the great sage Vashishta Muni. And they seeked his advice. So, at the break of dawn, the sage Vashishta Muni was invited to grant his presence now. Many pundits and counselors were also invited for consultation. And the king placed before them the problem of finding a successor to rule the vast realm of Ayodhya. Overcome by despair, Dashrath prayed to the elders in plaintive terms for beneficial suggestion. And the sage Vashishta went into deep meditation, dhyānam, and finally he opened his eyes and he spoke. And what are the words he said? He said, O king, you need not grieve thus. Ayodhya will not be rendered masterless. Ayodhya will have its own prince. This domain will be happy and prosperous in the unbroken festivity and the evergreen festivity. Ayodhya will be the guardian light of the right living, reverberating with music and joy. The grace of God, devotees, is a gift inscrutable. The vow of righteousness that you are fulfilling will surely bring the supreme joy of having a son. Don't delay any further. Invite now Shringi Rishi, the son of Vibhandaka, and perform the sacred sacrifice which was called the Putra Kameshti Yagya, prescribed for those who beget a son with him as the highest priest. Make all the necessary ceremonial and ritual arrangements for the sacrifice forthwith, and your desires will achieve without fail. The queens, could you imagine now listening to these words, reassuring words, spoken so emphatically by the sage Vashishta? They were filled with bliss, anandam, and the bud of hope, anew, renewed now, bloomed in their hearts. Messages were sent forth for the great Rishi, and upon his arrival now, Dashrath welcomed him and decided that this yajna should be precisely at the stroke of 7, significant number 7, the next day after consulting all of the astrological charts. My dear friends, the news spread all over the city in a heartbeat, and the rituals began. Agni Dev, the fire god, appeared and spoke. She said, Maharaja, accept this vessel and give the sacred sweet milk, this payasyam, in appropriate shares to your 3 queens, the voice announced. Placing the vessels in the king's hands, the mysterious person who had emerged from the flames disappeared. Brothers and sisters, the joy of the people, the princes, the pandits, and all the priests who witnessed this great manifestation knew no bounds. Goswami Tulsidas, she says, soon the final rituals were completed, and the Maharaja returned in procession now to the palace with the sacred vessel gifted by the gods now in his hands. Goswami Tulsidas, she tells us now what is about to happen. Let us see, he says. Shri Ram Jaya Rama Jaya Jaya Rama Shri Ram Jaya Rama Jaya Jaya Rama Tab hi Raya Priya Nari Bolai Kaushalyadi taha chali ai. Bolo Shri Ram Jaya Rama Jaya Jaya Rama Shri Ram Jaya Rama Jaya Jaya Rama Ardha bhaga ko lahi dina ardha bhaga ko salhi dina ubhaya bhaga dhi har ki Rama adhikar ki Rama adhikar ki. Sing with love. Bolo Shri Ram Jaya Rama Jaya Jaya Rama Shri Ram Jaya Rama Jaya Jaya Rama Kei kaha nripa sodaya Kei kaha nripa sodaya rahyo so bhaya bhag puni bhayo Rama bhag puni bhayo Rama bhag puni bhayo. Hari Bol Shri Ram Jaya Rama Jaya Jaya Rama Shri Ram Jaya Rama Jaya Jaya Rama Kausalya ke kagi haath dhari Kausalya ke kahi haath dhari Deenha Sumitra hi मन प्रसन्नकारी रामा मन प्रसन्नकारी रामा मन प्रसन्नकारी. बोलो श्री राम जय रामा जय जय रामा श्री राम जय रामा जय जय राम. हरि बोल श्री राम जय रामा जय जय राम Jaya Rama, Jaya Jaya Rama, Shri Rama, Jaya Rama, Jaya Jaya Rama. Maryada Purushottam Bhagavan Ramachandra ki Jai. Ati Sundaram, isn't it? The lyrics of Rama and every single couplet. It melts the heart, devotees. Madhuram. The queens now, after finishing their ceremonial rituals, as advised by the preceptor, they entered into the palace shrine where the altar of the family deity was there. And there, Vasishtha Muni completed the worship ceremony. The food now, this payasyam, was presented by the divine person in a place placed in 3 golden cups. Then, Vasishtha, he called Dashrath and said, O king, give these cups to your wives. First to Kaushilya, next to Sumitra, and the last one to Kaika. The king accepted and followed the orders, the directions of his preceptor. The queens took the cups and they fell to the feet of the Guru, Vasishtha and Dashrath. And then Vasishtha told them now to partake of the food, but only after touching the feet of Shringi Rishi, who officiated the sacrifice. Time rolled by, and the news now came that the queens were with child. It spread amongst the people. And the queens, they took on a very shining complexion. And the 10th month had arrived. The maids and nurses awaited patiently now at the happy event, and they watched over the queens with vigilant care. And soon they came to know that Queen Kaushilya began to have labor pains. Goswami Tulsidas tells us in this Doha now. Let us see what he says. Sakala bhaye anukula, chara aru achara harasujita, Ram janma sukhamula. The position of the sun and the moon, the zodiacal signs in which the sun had entered, the position of the 7 other planets, the day of the week as well as the day of the lunar month, the yoga, the lagna, the planet, the timing, the tithi, these all turned out to be very propitious and full of delight was all creation, animate and inanimate, for the birth, the coming of Sri Rama. On the way to the palace now, they learned that Mother Kaushilya had in fact delivered a prince. And on the 2nd day, Mother Kaikeyi brought a son. And glad tidings filled the entire country with joy. The very next day, Sumitra Ma, she also labored pains and delivered twins. Auspicious signs were seen everywhere. Brothers and sisters, the happy news filled with immeasurable joy. The earth covered itself with green, trees blossomed all over, and music filled the air, and the clouds showered fragrant drops of rain, but only on the apartments where those babies laid in their cradles. In conclusion of our Ramayana segment this morning, Goswami Tulsidas writes, he says, Shri Ram Jai Rama, Jai Jai Rama, Shri Ram Jai Rama, Jai Jai Rama, Shri Ram Jai Rama. Naumi Tithi Madhu Mas Punita Sukala Pacha Bhi Jeeta Har Preeta Shri Ram Jaya Rama Madhya Divasati Sita Naghama Pavan Kalalo Ukabesrama Shri Ram Jaya Rama Jai Jaya Rama Shri Ram Jaya Rama Jaya Jaya Rama Sitala Mandasu Rabi Paguvau Harshita Surasan Tana Man Chau Bolo Shri Ram Jaya Rama Jai Jaya Rama Shri Ram Jaya Rama Jai Jaya Rama Shri Ram Jaya Rama Prabhu Ramachandra Bhagavan ki Jai. Goswami Tulsidas Ji writes beautifully, he says, Naumi Tithi Madhumas Punita Sukala Pacha Abhijita Hariprita. It was the 9th day of the bright half of the sacred month of Chaitra. The moon had entered this constellation called Abhijit, which is so dear to Sri Hari. And the sun was at its median. What does this mean? Lord Rama was born exactly at midday. The sun at its median. It was neither hot nor cold. It was a holy time which gave rest and peace to the entire world. And suddenly, a cool, soft, fragrant breeze blew across the entire planet, symbolizing the advent or the arrival of Bhagwan Sri Ram. Devi Bhagavatam, if we can transgress for a little bit. When Ravan was tormenting the entire universe, all the Devas went up to Sri Hari and they spoke to him. They says, Prabhu, we need to deal with this fellow called Ravan. He's creating havoc. And what did Sri Hari do? He went straight to the divine feet of the Lotus Mother, Bhavani Shankarma, and they began to pray to her. And what did the Divine Mother instruct them? She says, I will take birth in the kingdom of Janak as of one of my other forms, my sister Lakshmi, in the form of Janaki Devi, Sita Ma. Lord Vishnu says, I will take avatar in the form of whom? Sri Ramchandra Ji, in the home of Dashrath. And Lord Shiva, he says, I will come as the 11th incarnation, which is who? Pavanaputra Hanumanji, and so forth. And they went on. This is how the advent of Rama also came in our scriptures to destroy Ravan. Goswami Tulsidas, he says very beautifully, he says, Lord Rama, in his exile to the forest, one of the first stops that he made was at the hermitage of the sage Valmiki. And he asked the sage Valmiki, oh great sage, Father has given me this kingdom, this Dandak forest, to rule for the next 14 years. Where should I go and stay? And the sage Valmiki laughed. He says, oh Lord, you are the master of all the worlds. You would know everything as though it's a plum in the palm of your hands. And you are asking me where to go and stay? And then the sage Valmiki spoke these beautiful words. He says, Kam Krodha Madhamana Moha Lobhan Chobhan Ragna Droha जिन्हके कपट दंभ नहीं माया तिन्हके हृदय बसहु रघुराया श्री राम जय जय राम Raghupati Raghav Raja Rama. My dear brothers and sisters, this symbolizes or is a synopsis of the advent or the avatar of Rama. We sing this beautiful bhajan collectively. It says, amidst the battle of life, O mind, sing the praises of Sri Ram. On this field, you shall find heaven and earth right here. The Lord can be found here, as well as in the eternal Om. There is no duty greater than chanting the name of Sri Ram. Ram Ramiti me Rami, Rame Rame Manorame, Shahastranam Tatulyam, Shri Ram Naam Baraname. E manvare manva जीवन है संग्राम बोलो मनवारे मनवा जीवन है संग्राम मनवारे मनवा जीवन है संग्राम हरि बोल मनवारे मनवा जीवन है संग्राम भजले राम 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 भजले राम 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 भजले राम 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 भजले राम 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 ओ भजले राम 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 भजले राम 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 भजले राम 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 भजले राम 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 मनवारे मनवा जीवन है संग्राम मनवारे मनवा जीवन है यही पर लोक यही है यही धारा और व्योम यही धारा और व्योम यही पुरातन नारायण है यही सनातन ओ यही सनातन ओ इससे भरा नहीं कोई काम इससे भरा नहीं कोई काम भजले राम 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 भजले राम 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 ओ भजले राम 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 भजले राम 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 मनवारे मनवा जीवन है संग्राम मनवारे जीवन है संग्राम इसके करतब अजब अनोखे गजब के इसके खेल गजब के इसके खेल सूर्य चंद्रमा दीप जलाता बिन बाती बिन बिन बाती बिन तेल यही सवारे सारे काम यही सवारे सारे काम भजले राम 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 भजले राम 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 ओ भजले राम 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 भजले राम 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 मनवारे मनवा जीवन है मनवारे मनवा जीवन है साई राम 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 साई राम 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 साई राम 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 साई राम 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 ओ साई राम 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 साई राम राम ओ साई राम 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 साई राम राम ओ साई राम 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 साई राम 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 साई राम 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 साई राम 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 मनवारे मनवा जीवन है संग्राम मर्यादा पुरुषोत्तम भगवान रामचंद्र की जय Now let us turn to Bhagwan Shri Krishna. We journey now to Mathura. As you recall from our kathas, His parents were chained to the walls of a prison cell by Kamsa. And the moment Lord Krishna was born, those chains that bound his father fell off. The doors that had been bolted by padlocks flew open, and the prison guards were immersed in the ocean of bliss, so that they could not recognize any event or the thing in the material world. You see, the fire of hatred that was burning in them was cooled. Darkness gave place to the dawn of wisdom, and the sky showered raindrops to soften the earth, to suppress the dust. How can the elements operate against the divine will? We ask the question. Sound, touch, light, taste, and smell all become sublime to celebrate the era of peace and plenty. Vasudeva, his father, as instructed by a heavenly voice, placed the child in a basket and carried him across on his head across the Yamuna. The Yamuna parted to give him the right of way. But you see, there's a misconception. When the water rose from the Yamuna to touch the basket, it was not flood. Even the Yamuna wanted to touch the feet of Bhagwan Sri Krishna. Brothers and sisters, at the same time, Mata Yashoda, the consort of Nanda, had given birth to a female child. And just when he emerged from prison, a donkey brayed to indicate a good omen was about to take place. But Vasudeva was afraid of the baby. He will awaken the guards. So what did he do? He held on to the feet of the baby with both hands. And after placing the basket on the ground, he prayed to baby Krishna, "But baby, please stay quiet. Don't make any noise. You'll wake the guards up." And that was the depth of his devotion, devotees, to the Lord whom he was transporting as per his directions. When he went to Nanda's house and entered the room, Yashoda had just delivered this baby girl, and there was no one there except the sister of Nanda, Radha, who at that time was only 9 years old. Vasudeva brought the baby over and placed the Lord by her side. He then took the female child with him back to the jail cell in Mathura. And that female child was Maya Shakti, for she ushers the avatars of the world. Maya Shakti played her ruse as soon as she was placed next to Devaki. What did she do? She cried aloud, and awakening the guards, they reported now the arrival of this child to Kamsa. He expected that the 8th child, another significant number we'll discuss, 8, the 8th child would be a boy. But nevertheless, he took hold of the girl and tried to smash that baby upon a rock. And we all know what happened. Maya Shakti flew up into the air and declaring that the person who was to kill Kamsa is already growing up safe in Gokula. Brothers and sisters, Kamsa slaughtered a number of babies from Gokula, but Krishna escaped his eye. And during his childhood, Krishna systematically overpowered and destroyed various emissaries sent by Kamsa to Gokula under different pretexts. Nothing comes in the way of the Lord's mission. Remember this. Nothing comes in the way of the Lord's mission. Not even a blade of grass will move without the divine intervention of Bhagavan. Lord Krishna's complexion was one that was neither fair nor dark. It was 3 parts dark and 1 part fair. It was an amalgam, a mixture of both. He wore silver bangles on his wrist, such as cowherd boys would do in those days in that part of the country. But those bangles, they were called kankans. And those kankans were not just mere bangles. They had profound implications. You see, kankans are symbolic of the determination that one commits to fulfill a vow or to carry out duties in stages of lives. Krishna had taken 3 vows, and the kankans were symbolic now of these. These were mentioned by him in the Bhagavad Gita. The first one, Dharma Sanstharpanathaya Sambhavami Yuge Yuge. I shall incarnate myself every age to revive and to resurrect Dharma. Yogakshemam Vaham Yaham. I shall bear the burden of ensuing peace and prosperity on all who rely on me. And Mokshaishyami Masucha. I shall save all those who surrender wholeheartedly to me and to liberate them from the cycle of birth and death. Therefore, Bhagavan Sri Krishna has assured man that he will save him from penury and grief and from sin and from terrible consequences, provided he adheres to him and adores him. Brothers and sisters, He says, when promising his grace to all who adore him, with no other thought, that all who do so shall in fact receive his grace. He has no restriction of caste, creed, color, country, of origin. One receives a special favor in result of an eradication of this age of caste. Krishna was the embodiment of prema. His prema had no bounds. Bhagwan Sri Satya Sai Baba says, Krishna moved amongst men as an ordinary person and drew them to the observance of his prescriptions by his divine prema. The mystical basuri of Bhagwan Sri Krishna, when he blew that mystical air, it was captivating like it is today. Brothers and sisters, though he could destroy the entire Kauravas brood, he tried his best to instill good sense into them in order to save them. Then, as we all know very well, the teaching and the message are the same. Know thyself. That is the only right way to know me. The theme for Swami's 99th birthday, not so? Being associated ardently with men, winning their love through love, and through the process of correcting their vision and purifying their consciousness, leading them to realize that God, which is their core, this is the task that we all know. Unless the human form is assumed, no one will come near. If the appearance is superhuman, people will stay away. This is why most of the avatars took this human form. So says the Shastras, the divine form of man has to come to save mankind. When Bhagwan Sri Krishna left for Mathura, devotees, the gopis began to sing in this bhajan. Just as we sing today, as we celebrate the birthday of the avatar, their love and affection for him was beyond bounds, just like our love and affection, beyond bounds for Swami. He endured himself in community, a friend to the young and the beautiful babies. Uncontrollably they weep. The whole of the Yamuna and the Madhuban, tears began to flow. Maiya ki mamata taje taj baba ka pyar ग्वाल बाल की मित्रता गोपियन की मनहार तज के सब परिवार को तज मुरली की तार अपनों से मुख मोर के मथुरा चले रे सुना सुना लागे नीरज का धाम गोकुल को छोड़ चले रे घनश्याम सुना सुना लागे नीरज का धाम गोकुल को छोड़ चले रे जमुना रोए मधुबन रोए रोए कदम की छैया ओ रोए कदम की छैया भर भर नैना रोए रे गवाले भर भर नैना रोए रे गवाले रोए रज की गैया राह रोक कर रोए मनुष्खा ओ राह रोक कर रो पिछड़ रहे मुरे शाम रे, सुना सुना लागे नीरज का ढाम, गोकुल को छोड़ चले रे घनश्याम, सुना सुना लागे नीरज का ढाम, गोकुल को छोड़ चले रे घनश्याम। बोल सके ना घर के पंछी, असुवन से भरने ना, असुवन से भरने ना, आजा कान्हा ना जा कान्हा, ना जा कान्हा, ना जा कान्हा, आजा कान्हा ना जा कान्हा, तूने भूखे रे पिंजरे की नैना, नदियाँ रोए गिरवड़ रोए, ले काना ता नाम रे, सुना सुना लागे नीरज का ढाम, गोकुल को छोड़ चले रे घनश्याम, सुना सुना लागे नीरज का ढाम, गोकुल को छोड़ चले रे घनश्याम। बाके वृंदावन बिहारी लाल की जय। What did Bhagwan Sri Krishna say? Yada yada hi dharmasya glanid bhavati bharata abhyutanamasa dharmasya taratmanam srijamyam paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya chadushkitam dharma samstharpanathaya sambhavami yuge yuge. He came again and again as the triple avatar in this age of Kali. The purpose of this first incarnation of Shirdi Sai was to give intimations of divinity. The second, the present one, Satya Sai, is for gifting of divinity. And the third, the coming of one, Prema Sai, will be for teaching of divinity. You know the beautiful Bhajan tells us, Oh, Shirdi ke Sai Baba, तेरी दुहाई बाबा, तेरी शरण हम पा गए, ओ साई हमको जन्म जन्म का फल पा गए. Brothers and sisters, the moment of divine fulfillment was about to dawn. The prayers of numerous saints, sages and renunciants for the incarnation of God on earth were about to be answered. The agony of suffering humanity moved from the ever-merciful Supreme Divinity. Ishwaramma was again pregnant for the 8th time, the number 8 again. Quite significantly, Lord Krishna was born as the 8th child of Mother Devaki. The inscrutable and incomprehensible, the universal absolute was now about to unveil himself. Musical instruments in the house like the mridangam, the percussion instruments, stringed instruments, they began to produce music of their own accord. People were surprised by this and also delighted at this extraordinary occurrence. But at the same time, they were confused and concerned. Peda Veda Kama Raju, he went all the way to a nearby town of Buddha Kaputam to consult the astrologers. And after carefully going through the ancient texts, they inquired whether any lady in the house was pregnant. When the reply was affirmative, the astrologer said, for the pleasure of the child in the womb, celestial musicians are providing entertainment. They were entertaining Swami. When the divine incarnations are about to take place, such unusual incidents happen. They showed relevant parts now in the scriptures, in the astrological treatise, to Peda Venkamaraju in support now of their opinion. It was the 23rd of November, 1926. According to the Hindu calendar, it corresponded to Sombar, Monday,
Thaira on the third day after the full moon, Kartik month, Akshaya on the Ardha star. Hindus consider Mondays of the Kartik month a very favorite day of Bhagwan Shiva Shankar and perform special worship to him. From 4 a.m. on that day, Lakshmama was deeply absorbed in the worship, the Vedam of Lord Sri Satyanarayan Swami, being performed at a nearby house by a Purohit of Brahmin. She was called several times to her daughter-in-law's delivery because it was imminent, but she ignored the calls. She decided not to return home without seeing the puja through and receiving the prasadam from that puja. She sat through indeed the entire puja and carried now prasadam home. She gave the prasadam to her daughter-in-law. It was now 5:06 a.m. Cool breezes, just like when Sri Rama came. Cool breezes started now to blow. Little bells on the top of the temple pillar, the sthapanam, they began to produce gentle sounds. And devotees inside the house, musical notes from the instruments spontaneously began playing of their own soft reverberating. And of course, the wondrous moments, Sri Satya Sai Baba, the divine incarnation, was born. He had a tiny black mole, birthmark, on his left cheek. And he also had another mole on his bosom. Like the Srivastra ornament adorning the bosom of Mahavishnu, on his soles of his feet could be discerned the signs of the Shankar, the conch, and the Chakra, the circular disc with the insignia of divinity. Lakshmama, Ishwarama's mother-in-law, placed the newborn baby delicately on palm leaves as a tradition. And devotees in a corner of the delivery room, a little later, she noticed slight movement of the baby, of the bed sheets. And when she picked up the baby, what did she find? To her dismay, a coiled cobra beneath the bed. True enough, Puttaparthi knew no dearths of snakes, but it was nevertheless quite unusual for a cobra to be coiled, positioning itself at that bed for a newborn baby right in the delivery room. After the flutter caused by the presence cooled down, they started searching for the snake, but they could not find the snake. There's absolutely no doubt that the snake was none other than Adishesh himself, the divine serpent who serves Bhagwan Shri Vishnu in Vaikuntha Loka. This is the very first demonstration of divinity of Sri Satya Sai Baba. The baby was born immediately after the mother had partaken of the prasadam from that puja, Lord Satyanarayan Swami's puja, as he was given the name Satyanarayana. The old man, Kondama Raju, was immensely delighted now with this name. The inner profound spiritual significance of the word Satya has come out of all of this, striking appropriativeness now to Swami's life. In the Sri Mahabhagavata, it has been stated that Lord Narayan intended to incarnate on this earth as Sri Krishna and entered the womb of Devaki Devi. After Bhagwan Sri Satya Sai Baba proclaimed, "I am Krishna of yore," a doubt arose in the mind of a learned scholar. And one day, he happened to be with Sri Satya Sai Baba in the mandir when spiritual matters are being discussed. And he asked, "Swami, was your birth through normal conception, pravasham, or by advent, pravesham?" Everyone was present was intrigued, somewhat surprised. What is this odd question? And why, in any case, what property, what value does it have? They wondered. But Swami smiled. He certainly knew the inner substance and profound significance of this question. And he turned towards Ishwaramma, the mother who was sitting in the front row, and said, "Tell Rama Sharma what happened on that day when you were filling water from the well." We all know this story very well. Ishwaramma then narrated her experience. She says, "When I was lifting the water from the well, suddenly I saw a ball of bluish sparkling light rolling down from the sky. It entered my body and I immediately lost consciousness. When I regained my senses with ministrations of my mother-in-law, I told her what had happened. She immediately advised me not to say a word about this to anybody because they might think it's some sort of funny inference." Bhagwan Sri Satya Sai Baba now turned to Rama Sharma and said, "Do you now understand, Rama Sharma ji? My birth was not through conception, but by advent." On a Thursday, one of the persons gathered around Satyam asked, for some proof that he was in fact Sai Baba. Satyam asked whether he didn't indeed need proof. Then he called for some jasmine flowers. He tipped them in his hands and he flung them onto the floor. And to the astonishment of everyone, the flowers arranged themselves in the name Sai Baba in the Telugu language. All the doubts melted away. Brothers and sisters, it was now Monday, 20th of October, 1940. Satyam was then in Urvakonda, having resumed his interrupted schooling. He was on his way to school when suddenly he turned back and returned home. He flung his books away and he cried out loudly, "I no longer belong to you. Maya, delusion has left me. My devotees are eagerly calling me." And on hearing these loud words, his sister-in-law looked out of the kitchen window. And what did she see? She saw a halo of blinding luminescence around Satyam's head. "I am leaving," he told her. "I have work. The work that I have come here for has to be initiated." And he sat on a boulder there, and several eager devotees around him. Satyam began singing a bhajan, the first in the vast body of bhajans, which are now resounding all over the world. And what was that bhajan? Sing with me. Manas bhajre Guru Charanam Dustara Bhava Sagar Taranam Manas Bhajre Guru Charanam Dustara Bhava Sagar Taranam. Guru Maharaj ki jai. Then dwell on his glory. Do bhajan. Do it with all your mind and concentration. Sing the praises of the Master's lotus feet with all your hearts. It enables us to cross the difficulties, this ocean of Sagar. Swami says, "I have a task to foster all mankind to ensure for them that their lives are filled with ananda, bliss. I have a vow to lead all who stray away from the straight path back again to the goodness and to save them. I am attached to a work that I love. I remove the sufferings of the poor and grant them what they lack. I have a reason to be proud, for they rescue all who worship and adore me aright. I have a definition of the devotion I expect. Those devoted to me have to treat joy and grief, gain and loss with equal fortitude." And to sum that up, devotee Swami tells us, "Why fear when I am here? Why fear when I am here? So says Baba, Satya Sai Baba, Satya Sai Baba, my Lord." He says, "I do not belong to any place. I am not attached to anyone or any name. I have no mine or thine. I answer whatever name you use. I go wherever I am taken. And this is my very first vow." He says, "I have not disclosed this to anyone thus far. For me, the world is something very far apart. I act and move only for the sake of mankind." I repeat, Swami says, "I act and move only for the sake of mankind. No one can comprehend my glory, whoever he is, whatever his method of inquiry, however long one attempts to do this. God is known as Ishvara. Since he is the source and store of prosperity and power, he is known as Shankara. He is the embodiment of sanctity and auspiciousness. God has no birth or death. Swami says he has no wants nor desires. There is no single thing which he lacks, longs to acquire. The goal of all religions is one. Sabka Malik Ek, Sarvaloka Ekanatham. In all the universes, he is known by one name. The underlying meaning of all names is the same. You must appreciate this oneness, he tells us. Whatever the name used, all are children of one God. All belong to the caste of humanity. The distinctions between religions are the result of historical and geographical factors, and people may use diverse names for God, but God alone is one. Proclaim the message of unity as we do today. Devotees should cultivate unity, transcending all barriers of caste, creed, and nationality. Service, Baba says, is the highest penance, and serving any living being is to serve him. Many do acts of service as social service, not as sadhana, as a spiritual act. Though seva, sadhana, Hanuman, through seva and sadhana, Hanumanji attained the identity with Rama. Just as the river attains identity with the ocean, Arjuna too considered his every act as sadhana to attain Lord Krishna's grace. And he followed Bhagavan Shri Krishna's counsel, fight ever keeping me in mind. Swami says, you too should keep God ever in your mind as the pace setter for every task that you do. Serve anyone in need with a full heart and experience the resultant joy. It may be small and even unnoticed by others, but must be done to please the God within you. Every act of genuine seva attracts the grace of God. The whole universe is the Lord's abode. I repeat, the whole universe is the Lord's abode. When there is a front door, where there is a front door for that mansion in that universe. Brothers and sisters, we spoke of Ayodhya, we spoke of Mathura, Vrindavan, here we speak of Prashanti. Where are these places located? Bhagwan tells us they are right here. Ayodhya. Ayodhya means that place where there is no war. Today Ayodhya exists in northern India. Beautiful Ram Mandir is there. But this Ayodhya right here is the one that has no war. Swami tells us the minute this Ayodhya is cleansed, remove the negativities from it, and there's no war, that is where he lives and resides in all of our hearts today. Play on the life strings of our body, he says. Offer yourselves at his feet and share in tears of joy. See heaven and experience, O Jiva. This is the main entrance to the Lord's abode. Swami says, in this human form in which every divine entity, every divine principle that is, all names and forms ascribed by man to God are manifest. You are very fortunate that we have a chance to experience the vision of the Sarvadeva Swarupa now in this very life. Let us glorify him, our hearts in full devotion, as we chant together now the Sri Satya Sai Chalice. I believe we have it displayed on the screens.
सत्य साई भगवान तुम्हें कोटि कोटि प्रणाम। सब धर्मों का सार तुम्ही, सब भक्तों के प्राण। विलग न हो साई चरणों से, सबका हो उद्धार। ब्रह्मा विष्णु शिव शक्ति का कलियुग में अवतार।
जय जय राम साई राम, जय जय राम साई राम,
जय जय राम साई राम, जय जय राम साई राम, जय जय राम साई राम, जय जय राम साई राम, जय जय राम साई राम,
जय जय राम साई राम।
जग में पाप बढ़े जब भारी, सच साई आई अवतारी। संतों ने जब उन्हें पुकारा, प्रकट हुई साई साकारा। आए धरा वैकुंठ धाम के परमेश्वर साई नाम से। धन्य हुई भारत की धरती, शिव शक्ति आए पुत पर। जय जय राम साई राम, 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 जय जय राम। विश्व पिता है विश्व की माता, संरक्षक वो भाग्य विधाता। साई में ब्रह्मानंद समाया, अद्भुत शक्ति अद्भुत माया। बाल रूप में लीला करते, हर्षित सबके नैन चलाते। ईश्वर सुत अति उत्तम सत्यनारायण राजू सत्यम। जय राम सिया राम। 14 बरस हुए जब पूर्ण दिया ज्ञान आए जिस कारण भूल फेंक कर नाम सजाया साईं बाबा लिखा दिखाया जग को पहला पाठ पढ़ाया भक्तों को यह भजन सुनाया मानस भजरे गुरु चरणम दुस्सर भव सागर तरणम। जय जय राम सिया राम जय जय राम सिया राम। पुत परती में चारों धाम प्रशांति निलयम राधा नाम परती में जो भक्त पधारे पाप नाश हो जाते सारे रूप अनेकों साई धरते सफल मनोरथ सारे करते चमत्कार से जगते हुए सब शिवलिंगम साकार किए। जय राम साई राम जय राम साई राम। सर्वधर्म का स्तूप बनाया सब ग्रंथों का सार बटाया सत्य धर्म और प्रेम सिखाते शांति और सद ज्ञान बताते एक धर्म और एक जात है साई सबके साथ साथ है मंदिर मस्जिद काशी काबा चार वेद उपनिषद है बाबा। जय जय राम साई राम जय राम साई राम जय राम साई राम। बाल विकास कराती साई सद्गुण सभी सिखाती साई विद्या ही आली फलवाती गुरुकुल जैसी बात बनाती वैद्याय बनवाती साई जल स्रोत लगाती साई सेवा नर से नारायण की मिलजुल सब करते जन जन की। जय राम साई राम जय राम साई राम जय राम साई राम। दर्शन दुर्लभ साई तुम्हारे बड़े भाग्य जो साई पुकारे जो जिस रूप में साई ध्याते उसी इष्ट के दर्शन पाते जिस पर साई दृष्टि बढ़ाती उसकी निष्दिन शक्ति बढ़ाती देवलोक दर्शन को से हम पर कृपा प्रभु की बरसे। जय राम साई राम जय राम साई राम। रोग दोष जब जिसको होते लग विभूति सारे धोते काम क्रोध सब हर लेती है हृदय प्रेम से भर देती है भक्ति मार्ग पर हमें चलाते ज्ञान दीप हर हृदय जलाते करता साई कारण साई भव सागर के कारण साई। जय राम साई राम जय राम साई राम। अल्लाह
बुद्धा येशु नानक सब धर्मों की वो अधिनायक। त्रेता में श्री राम वही थे, द्वापर में घन श्याम वही थे। शिरडी में आए शिव रूपा, पृथ्वी में शिव शक्ति स्वरूपा। शक्तिमान कर फिर आएंगे, प्रेम साई प्रभु कहलाएंगे। जय राम साई राम, जय राम साई राम, जय राम साई राम। जो करते साई की भक्ति, वो जाने साई की शक्ति। श्रद्धा और शक्ति देती है, भक्तों को मुक्ति देती है। पढ़ते जो साई चालीसा, भक्त बने प्यारा साई का। सर्वलोक करते उजियारा, जय 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 साई अवतारा। जय 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 साई अवतारा, जय 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 साई अवतारा। चरण कमल में साई के पुण्य फलों की भेंट, हृदय में कुंज में आकर साई स्वीकारो नैवेद्य, स्वीकारो नैवेद्य। भगवान श्री सत्य साई बाबा जी की। This evening, firstly, I thank all of you for being part of this beautiful satsang. To the musicians this evening, Anisa and the Mahadev sisters, give them a lovely round of applause, please. On keyboards, all the chorus singers, and my dholak player this evening, Kevin Dhar. Lovely round of applause, please. And thank you, Bhaya, as well. In this closing bhajan, remember, the service of the divine mission is to educate. The Sai avatar is established. Sai spiritual education derived from Sai ideals like his life, Satya, Dharma, Prema, and Ahimsa, with special emphasis on correct attitudes and values. Bhagwan has built so many super specialty hospitals, drinking water projects, and so forth. Sai is the miracle of love incarnated on earth to reform and transform mankind. He says, your life is my message, and love which has to be experienced at the spiritual, social, and individual levels through the process of change, namely S for spiritual change, A for the association of change, I for individual change, and of course, it becomes transparent as we blossom. Koti, koti dhanyavad. Join me in glorifying him as we chant his name in this final bhajan. A major. I also special recognition to my Dharampatni, my Dulhan, Urmila. Anelya Priyatam Devo Bhagavan Janaki Pati Shri Ramachandra Purvesham Asmarikam Kurumevatam Prashanti Sai Prashanti Baba Prashanti Sai Prashanti Baba Prashanti Sai, Prashanti Baba,
Prashanti Sai, Prashanti Mama,
Shivaya Shivaya Namah Shivaya, Shivaya Shivaya Namah Shivaya,
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 Prashanti Sai, Prashanti Baba,
Prashanti Sai, Prashanti Mama,
Shirdi Sai, Krishna Kanhai,
Shirdi Sai, Krishna Kanai,
Oh, Shirdi Sai, Krishna Kanhai,
Shirdi Sai, Krishna Kanai,
Namo Namo Sai, Bhajo Bhajo Sai,
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 Sai Namo Namo, 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 Sai Namo Namo,
Sai Namo Namo, Sai Namo Namo,
Sai Namo Namo, Sai Natha,
Sai Namo Namo, Sai Nata,
Sai Namo Namo, Sai Natha,
Sai Namo Namo, Sai Nata,
Prashanti Sai, Prashanti Baba,
Prashanti Sai, Prashanti Mama,
Shivaya Shivaya Namah Shivaya, Shivaya Shivaya Namah Shivaya,
Shivaya Shivaya Namah Shivaya, Shivaya Shivaya Namah Shivaya,
Prashanti Sai, Oh Prashanti Baba,
Prashanti Sai, Prashanti Mama,
Shirdi Sai, Krishna Kanhai,
Shirdi Sai, Krishna Kanai,
Namo Namo Sai, Bhajo Bhajo Sai,
Namo Namo Sai, Bhajo Bhajo Sai,
Sai Namo Namo, Sai Namo Namo,
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 Sai Namo Namo, Sai Natha,
Sai Namo Namo, Sai
Asato ma satgamaya tamaso ma jyotirgamaya mrityurma amritam gamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Samastaloka Sukhino Bhavantu. Samastaloka Sukhino Bhavantu. Samastaloka Sukhino Bhavantu. भगवान श्री सत्य साई बाबा जी की जय. कोटि कोटि धन्यवाद. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
I'm still getting goosebumps, but in my excitement, I don't want to forget. Thanking our dear Bhagwan, first and foremost, I offer my humble pranams at the divine lotus feet of our beloved Bhagwan Sri Satya Sai Baba. Thank you, Bhagwan, foremost for giving us the opportunity to sit here in your presence and enjoy this bliss through Panditji, arranging this, and especially on your birthday. We are ever so grateful. A big round of applause for our dear Bhagwan, please. Panditji, I really thought there was something else coming and then I looked at my phone and I saw the time, and I know you're very peculiar and particular about the time. I said, like, with you, time flies, as I had said. You kind of open a portal of devotion, and then you transport people to wherever they want to be. And it was really amazing. I don't have words to thank you enough. And how you took us through this journey of, our various avatars of our beloved Bhagwan, whether it is Sai Rama, Sai Krishna, Sai Baba. And with that deep insight, so that we don't have to go through the pages of Ramayana or Srimad Bhagavad or any of Bhagwan's stories. So, on behalf of our center and everybody present here, I express my personal gratitude and our gratitude to you for taking time. And I know you travel, you work full time. God knows how do you get time to build this after that. And then whether it is the singing, I know I might sound like a fanboy because I really enjoyed it. Last 2 hours were full of grace, full of devotion, and full of thought-provoking stories, which kind of transported us through various yugas, as you rightly said. So thank you very much once again. And I thank all of you. On a Saturday, you're here enjoying Bhagwan's birthday. So a huge round of applause to all of you as well. And as you rightly said towards the end of the session, this would not have been possible without your wonderful team. And I'll be a bit biased, and I would start with dear Sister Urmila, who totally selflessly supported. Like, is that the clap? This is the clap. That's how you clap for somebody who supports this whole session, makes it happen. Thank you, sister, very much. Thanks to all the musicians who made this so vibrant, including our dear brother Anand on the flute. Please give them a big hand. I don't want to get the names wrong. Brother Kevin on Dolak and Sister Anisha on the keyboard. That was so wonderful, so flawless. And all the singers who supported, and our dear Prashant, who at 0 hours notice made himself available and did a great job.
Sorry to disturb. I did forget to mention Brother Anand, who came to us. I know Urmilaji spoke with him very briefly, and he says, I won't come to any practice, but I'll be there. But Bhaiya didn't need any practice. So beautiful was his Basuri. Give him a lovely round of applause. Thank you, Bhaiya. Thank you.
I also want to thank our dear Priya Sankat for a wonderful introduction, taking us through what the session was about and telling us about Panditji for those of you. And I do see a lot of new faces here. You're all welcome. On behalf of our center, I welcome you all. And who am I? I'm blessed to be the president of the center as of now. My name is Rohil Sumbli, and it is my absolute pleasure to welcome you all today. And I hope you stay back because we have a very vibrant program which goes on till 9:30 p.m. After this session at 5:30, we'll have a light dinner in the rec room. For those of you who are new to our center, once you go out, you can speak to any Seva Dals. They are wearing a yellow, orange scarf. They can direct you. It's towards the right and then one more right. And I would request all of you to be seated here back for the next session, which is our dear Bhagwan's procession coming into the hall. So please be seated at 6:45 p.m. But then I have to thank a few people. I know we had a wonderful session. You are in the vibrance and vibe, but I think it will be not just to thank the rest of the team who has done a fantastic job, not just today, but for the entire week. We started this with Akhand Bhajan, and then we had Bhagwan's play last Sunday and today. So I would start with, and please join me in giving a huge round of applause to our altar team who's been here since yesterday and morning, doing a great job. Our kitchen team, our Annapurnas, as I would like to call them, in the kitchen. Everybody's enjoying here, but they are sitting in the kitchen. Please give them a huge round of applause. Our Seva team, our parking lot brothers who, when we sit here in the heat and nice weather, they're out in cold managing the traffic. Please give them a huge round of applause. Our BMG team, which manages this wonderful building. Our SSC team, which helped with the play, which was their presentation actually. And please give all the children and those parents a huge round of applause because we didn't get to speak after that. And our YA team, young adults, who are basically ingrained and they're like our nervous network. They're involved in all the wings. They're always there supporting and doing a great job. Our AV team, our ladies wing, all the ladies who support the Ladies' Day. We had a fantastic Ladies' Day on the 19th. Despite it being a working day, Tuesday, we had a huge response. Everybody had a great time. Please give all of them a fantastic round of applause. They did a great job. Finally, last but not the least, our devotional wing, which is responsible for today's program, which includes our Bhajan coordinators, Sister Shamla, Sister Vaishnavi, Brother Sinthil, our devotional coordinator, Brother Ashwin. And we had a beautiful session of talks, heart to heart, which was led by our study circle coordinator, Sister Meena. So please give them a huge round of applause for a fantastic program that we see today. So in case I have missed anyone, you know in my heart, on behalf of our entire center, I'm absolutely grateful. Thank you very much for making this week happen, for making us feel and get all these blessings and joy from our beloved Bhagwan. Last but not the least, I would like to invite Uncle Dayar Milchandani, who is the chair of our trust, as some like to call him, the light of our center, to come in the front. And I would also like to invite Panditji, if you could come here. So we'd like to present a small token of our appreciation to Panditji.
Before we do that, can we have a round of applause for our president? The applause are not enough. We should bring the bells, ring the bells.
I'm humbled. I'm humbled. But the president is only as good as the team. Team is the one. I'm just that
We need a captain.
proxy caretaker, that's all. But thank you so much, Uncle. I'm humbled. So if you could do the honors, Uncle, please. it's not empty. It's not empty. Panditji, once again, thank you very much. Sister Urmila, thank you very much. This would not have been possible without all the support and dedication from all of you. I am grateful. With that, we bring this session to a close. And at 5:30, we have some time. You can stretch and kind of move around. See our center, take a small tour. Our Seva Dals will be happy to guide you through. And at 5:30, the dinner will be served in the rec room. Till we see you at 6:45. Jai Sai Ram. Yes. So please. So I've been reminded, if you could be seated for a second, we'll do Brahmarpanam so that, we can have dinner. Just please go ahead, sister.
ब्रह्मवीर ब्रह्मज्ञो ब्रह्मणोहुतं ब्रह्मैवतेन गन्तव्यं ब्रह्मकर्म समाधिनाः अहं वैश्वानरो भूत्वा प्राणिना देहमाश्रितः प्राणापानसमायुक्तः पचाम्यन्नं चतुर्विधम् ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः।
जय बोलो भगवान श्री सत्य साई बाबा जी की
जय।
जय।